Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so I just learned something interesting. I have not been a huge fan of lemongrass in the diffuser in the past. And I have a feeling I probably know why. How many of you have ever heard that if you don't like the smell of an essential oil, that means that you need it? Okay, so if you followed me for any time, you know that I have had a struggle with joy in the past, and I mean the essential oil of joy. And come to find out, when I used my trusty reference guide here, which this is releasing, yes, very well used, very well worn, releasing emotional patterns with essential oils. This is Carolyn Mine, who's a chiropractor. I understood that the reason why I didn't like joy was because of me struggling with disappointment. And disappointment had, if you will, lodged itself, placed itself within me because I had not released it. I had held on to disappointment and hadn't let it go, okay, and was struggling with it. There's a specific place on my body. It's actually right in here where joy was housed. And the reason why I know that is through the charts in this book. And I was able to release that. And I don't struggle with that anymore. And I don't mind that oil any longer. It's not my very most favorite, but I don't detest it. So I felt very similarly with lemongrass, and I didn't understand why. I have a friend that is at work that is on my team that diffuses lemongrass almost every day in her office. And it's, she likes it because it relaxes her. She feels like it lifts a lot of the brain fog and things like that. So I went searching to figure out why I didn't like lemongrass, since we've been studying lemongrass. And I kind of went searching. So I grabbed my trusty book and I thought it was super interesting. So when you look up lemongrass in this book, the emotion that it's tied to is resentment. Okay. If you look at the alarm point, which is the alarm point is either where it's housed or where it entered. And most of the time it's where it's housed. Then it's hepatic duct. Okay. So my science comes in. The hepatic duct is what leads directly to the liver. Does anybody know what emotion can be stored in the liver? Anger. Okay. So how many of you would know that when you have resentment and you stew on it for a while, that it can lead to anger? It's housed in the very duct that leads directly to the liver. So you can go from resentment to anger. And we can grow in that emotion, especially as we stew or ruminate like a cow chews its cud over specific incidences, that you can go from resentment to anger. And it represents it that way physically too. Isn't that interesting? So I've got some lemongrass. Oh, here's my diffuser right here in my macaroon diffuser. If you do not have this diffuser, it's awesome. It can last up to 16 hours. Who doesn't like to fill their diffuser? Me. This is an awesome diffuser right here, this macaroon diffuser. You can probably see it right there. It's right up, here's the animal scents, and you can see that diffuser. But if you don't like lemongrass, then start with it, just a couple of drops in your diffuser, and start working on it. Then go before the Lord and say, what? Okay, do I have resentment? And I guarantee you a situation or a person is going to come right in your mind. And that wasn't of your own volition. That is the Lord talking to you and saying, yep, you're resenting this, or or this person, or this situation, or you could be even resenting him because you don't think that he resolved something the way that you thought it needed to be resolved. So, little lesson for lemongrass today: work on your lemongrass. I've got it going in my diffuser this morning. Already talked to the Lord about resentment, and know that this is going to be a smell that no longer disgusts me, but grows on me. Blessings.